Anoop, please, I beg you, please do not kill Cattell and allow him and allow Leaf to be able to go back to his farm and find Thorfinn. I beg you, please. What's up? I'm Grizz. Welcome back. More Vinland. I'm really hoping we don't have like a tragic end for these characters here. I really don't want that. And regardless if they're alive by the end of this or if we get back to the farm but they just lose control of the land instead, I don't know exactly the route it's going to take, but I'm nervous no matter what. I just want a situation where Thorfinn's able to be happy, and it doesn't look like we're gonna get one, so it really breaks my heart. But yeah, if you enjoyed all, please hit the like, please hit the subscribe. Do mean a lot to me. Feel free to also stick around for the discussion, leave any comments down below you think are useful, or you just thoughts overall about the episode. Let's get going with episode 12.
They're
gonna pick the most roundabout method of doing it though. Humiliating way. That'll make themselves feel better. Why they got him like all shaded up like that? Like what's he scheming up here? Yo. The coin? Yeah, please let me do my job. Yeah, things kind of changed. They do. I can't even get it out. It's not even that funny. Why? Yeah. Okay, I guess that, yeah. They lost to a dead animal. This could be good though, because he could use like this humiliation that he's feeling here as means to kind of fuel him to improve. But I don't think he's gonna take it that way. He's probably just gonna fuel it for like revenge. But he might fuck things up, like even worse for his dad. No! I don't like Almar at all. That's not a fight you want, brother. Yeah. Oh. I understand his response, but I don't like it. He's gonna watch his brother get killed right in front of him. We'll take the one-on-one here. It'd actually be kind of nuts if Omar somehow pulls this off, though. Well, he's encouraging. Which reminds me a lot of Askeladd and Thorfinn fighting when Thorfinn was first kind of starting off and trying to kill him. Where he doesn't have to like use his sword or anything, he just kind of dodges him and uses his hands to take him down. You started the duel, to be fair. It's your responsibility to do this. But you're showing how weak you really are. Right. It's not a game. It's not... Yep. You have to kill a man to become a man. Isn't that how he first met you? Omar probably could have used this all these years if he really wanted this. He's gonna get his brother killed. Just put a little pressure on him. Step in, yeah. What the fuck? Oh, that is gross, but that is cool. Okay. He did it. He fucking did it. Okay, this might change how I thought things were gonna go. What is Canute gonna say? Why did he help him too, I wonder? This is your first kill. Congrats. You have made it. You protect family too, though. Yes, that was all you. Mm-hmm. It's always so crazy to me the joy these guys seem to be getting out of doing this. Look how happy he is about it. Yo. Does that make you a man now, does it? You have to question that. We had a little fun. Just a challenge. Just a duel. It's interesting too, because Cattell might blame his kids for what Canute was ultimately going to do regardless. Yeah. Fuck the rules. Yeah. I'm really interested to see how this goes with Canute. So by normally you wouldn't be punished. Does that mean you expect to be punished here? Or unless things aren't normal in this situation? Was he a member of Harold's Guard then, or was it Canute's? Am I completely missing it? He's a member of one of the way. Is he gonna fight them? Or is he just gonna give in to it? Oh, wow. This also makes it a lot easier if they took over the farm. They don't actually have to go by underhanded methods. Yeah, he is gonna fight. Wow. Y'all don't stand that chance. Yeah. I understand you have to defend, but how do you see 5 dudes get slaughtered in front of you and continue to be like, alright, I can do it this time. I could be the one. He really doesn't. They really didn't even know. This was all part of the play, yeah. Mm-hmm. You like this though. The beginning? Wow. What an outlook to have in this type of situation. Are we gonna have to storm the farm? Mm-hmm. So we are. Oh. We'll just take control. Yeah. Is Floki gonna come too? Or just his boys? We're about to go to fucking war. This is where we call on Thorfinn. And they try and get him to give up his oath and go back to the routes of violence. Mm-hmm. Welcome back. Yeah. He really is turning into Suin. Did Leaf come with them, or is he just following them? Oh, Leaf helped him escape. Wow. He's gonna give him Thorfinn? That's all he cares about. Uh-oh. Omar's gonna take on a lot of guilt for this. This is when you're supposed to become a man, too. Some of the visuals this episode, too, are beautiful. Mm-hmm. Wow. Looking forward to a brighter tomorrow. All for lost love. Huh. Seems like a declaration award to me. Another brilliant episode to kind of set us up and conclude the first core. It provides us necessary setup for what's to come next while giving us some answers that we needed from last episode, and also putting to the test person's ability to be mentally strong in their pride. I just simply didn't expect us to get something like that, and I expected literally for the rest of the season to be kind of not focused in the slightest with action or fighting at all. So the fact that we got an episode that felt almost entirely dedicated to that is kind of different. And I didn't dislike it at all, and I absolutely loved it. And I think this might have been probably the most visually stunning episode the entire season. And there was a lot of room for characters just to kind of, you know, breathe and for you to read the emotions and the body language and stuff like that they had. And I thought it was just really executed well and done beautifully. We open with Omar basically getting harassed by this group of dudes who are going to deliver the news basically that he is not going to be allowed to work under King Canute and work in the army. But the guys can't just simply, you know, express that to him without poking fun at him and trying to provoke him a little bit, because that's what they do. I originally was a little confused about this line that we got here from Wolf that talked about how they look just as stupid as he does. And I initially just took that as like they're just going to look dumb for kind of coming at him and making fun of him. But as we later find out, I think it was because they were set up, and him knowing that the entire time. Of course, they're not going to know that, and they're just doing this just to have fun. But Wolf and everybody else involved kind of knows that this being like provoking him is going to get a sporadic reaction out of him because just the way that he acts, and a duel would ultimately become of that. We get the duel to start. It starts to go really, really poor. As you'd expect, Omar literally can't do anything, and he's just all talk, and he has absolutely no skill to back him up or any ability to really back him up. That's when Torgal comes in and kind of is like, listen, dude, this when you challenge somebody to a duel, it's not all fun and games. They might be sitting here, they might be laughing, acting like it doesn't matter, but it's a fight to the death. Essentially, one person has to die, the other person can live, and there's no tie in this. There's no you get out free. There's nothing like that comes of this. This is a battle of pride, and you get up and you fight when somebody takes you down, because the ultimate goal is for you to fight and for you to kill this guy and to become a man. And I like that a lot. The callback to episode 3, I think it was, when we first really start getting into Omar and, you know, his feelings and what he wants to do. And the guys on the farm kind of push him and try and convince him that he needs to become a man, and to do that he needs to kill somebody. So they try setting up Thorfinn and Einar to kind of let that happen. And we saw before, he mentally could not take it. He could not do it back then, but we had a time skip. There's been years. He might have done something in the time being that can allow him to be prepared and be ready for this moment to come. And he wants to become the warrior. He wants to become a man. And this is his opportunity here to do it. And I mean, this little pep talk he got from his brother kind of helped him, and it sparked something in him, and it got him moving. Like he was actually, it seemed like he was out to kill. But the issue is he's not prepared for it. And as we see, when he ultimately is able to do it, the actual shock on his face and him just freezing up and not knowing what to do comes as a result of somebody who can talk, but they cannot go through and perform these actions in which they, you know, they cannot back up their claims. It takes a certain level of, I don't know what the right word is, but you mentally have to be at a certain level of either not caring or being completely, you know, numb to things and having no concern for other people's lives. And you have to have something like that within you, that like Torgal has, in order for you to be able to go through and kill somebody and not have to have a reaction like Omar did. And Omar is not mentally there. He is not able to do that, and he's not in that position. So a complete natural reaction that he had. And immediately after doing it, it's not as simple as, oh, you become a man if you do that. It's you become a man because you become so numb to it after a certain amount of time, and it gets easier and easier with each kill. And the issue is, with this being your first one, Omar not being mentally prepared for it either, it comes as a complete shock to him. You think when he was running up to that guy with the sword, he was completely prepared in his mind, I'm going to kill him right here. I guarantee you that's not the case. He was fully expecting him to dodge or block him or something like that to happen. And he really probably didn't want to kill him. He was probably hoping that he gets an out, or maybe he could cause some sort of harm to him to make himself feel strong, but he probably didn't want to do away with him, because you're literally taking another person's life when you do this. And it's not an easy thing for you to have to see done in front of you. Wolf with the coin flick into the eye, absolutely disgusting. And I'm so happy this scene was in it here, but absolutely disgusting when that happened. I hate everything that has to do with eyes, and, just touching them or just something like that. It gets on me. I don't like it, and it was a shock for me. But also because I didn't read the option that this was something that could happen, that they could possibly be forming a setup somehow, and that was the exact thing. I initially was feeling like he might have just did it because he wanted to just shut this guy up, but we later find out that's not the case. But I think that is interesting. Omar's first real kill, still, it came by his hands, but it didn't become strictly because of his ability. It's almost the guy was kind of immobilized at that point, and anybody could have done it. Torgal goes on a rampage then to protect his brother, as, you know, 10 other dudes start coming up to him and trying to fight and get payback for what Omar just did. But Torgal is an absolute menace and does not care, and just shreds through every single one of them. The guards show up and basically tell him dueling is, you know, not allowed, especially on the land, especially so close by when the king's here. Every single one of them in the family is under arrest as a result. Catel's already not happy, right? His family is kind of doing these things that he doesn't want to, and putting him at even more of a risk. than he wants to be, and he kind of just wants to get out of here. He thinks all is well, and he's already trying to recover from what just happened with Olmar the day before about him embarrassing him in front of the king. So now have to put up with this, and to have your family be claimed to be getting arrested is not a great idea. Torgo doesn't take kindly to that though, and starts slaughtering all of these guys too. Absolute tank of a human, and he just starts going through them until he leaves one left and starts to question him a little bit. And I like this a lot because instead of being so oblivious to everything that's going on, Torgal immediately catches on about what happened with his eye and how something got in it and why Omar was able to do what he was able to do, and that there had to be some sort of reason and somebody had to have had some sort of hand in, setting this up. So he immediately questions the guy and gets the answer out of him that they had a whole plan basically set up to arrest Cattell, and to do it on the foundations, I guess, of what just occurred here, but also the fact that he embarrassed the king and with Olmar and the rest of his family. So they are going to basically take him and his son and do away with them, because this provides the perfect opportunity for them to go over, take over the land. They don't have to have any conflict because they realistically don't have to kill anybody. Nobody else is really going to know. And you just kind of lock this dude up and you get full control over all of his stuff. So it made a lot of sense, honestly, and it was a really smart, well thought out plan, except they didn't really calculate the outlier into it, which we end up seeing because none of them actually knew Torgal's relationship to it. So I guess it might have not been Canute's plan. Maybe somebody else, Canute said that he just wanted this and it was their idea to come up with the plan, because Canute would have known about Torgal. So I don't actually know that, but they didn't factor in that Torgal would be here and would be built like this and want to go out and kill everybody. So the plan ends up falling apart, but Torgal is very excited about this. This is not a good thing. You should not be happy about this, but he finds it fascinating because that means he can go to war and he can battle more, and that's literally what he wants to do. Kind of crazy to be at that state. That's what you are looking forward to. Cattell and the others were actually able to escape and were not captured and arrested at all. So Canute has to move forward with the plan, and whether it's to alter it or not, he moves forward and decides ultimately we're going to go to the farm and we are going to capture Cattell if he's there. And if he is not, we're just going to take over. It's going to be ours. So it's kind of basically what happened before, except Cattell might be there now. We also find out that he has access to getting Floki still, and him and a bunch of his guards are going to come to Cattell's farm and assist us in taking over so that they can't really fight back, so that we can capture those. So I do wonder, they said Floki is going to come, so I do wonder we're going to be able to see him probably, and he'll probably be on the farm. I wonder if Torgal's going to be there. I don't actually know his relation, like what army he's part of, if he does work under Floki or if he's on his own or what, because I know him and Canute seem to have a rocky relationship by the end, so I don't know where they're at and if he's going to show up or not. But I would love that for everything to come full circle and us all to meet again. I think that would just be fascinating. So hopefully something like that happens, but if not, is what it is. Suin appears once again and talks about how Canute is starting to resemble him, starting to act like him, being like him, and how to reach the top, you need to pile up the bodies in which you claim. And that's the only way really to get up there, which is an interesting way of looking at it. But it is interesting that he is following down this path, because Canute seemed like for the longest time somebody who had a stronger idea. And I felt like this before too. He seemed a lot more tactical and wasn't as worried about straight on causing a war and causing all this conflict. And he just kind of wanted to find ways to protect himself, but also make things right in which he felt was wrong. And it doesn't necessarily seem like he's following down that path at all anymore. And he is just kind of becoming what his dad was. And before, he used to hate his dad and not like, things about him and his reasoning for doing things, but you are slowly becoming him. And as we find out later, he wants to create a utopia of his perfect world here. And that's essentially, I guess, what his dad was probably trying to do. And that's why when he was faced with the challenge of having to get rid of one of his sons, it was so easy for him because they didn't fit in his ideal world, right? This perfect world that he had to move on and he had to do something about them. So it is interesting that Canute is following down this path. We meet Leif. He's on the boat who's actually taking us back. So instead of taking, I guess, our actual ship back, they were able to evade everybody and not get arrested by being hidden inside of barrels onto Leif's boat and his ship. It appears they are headed back to Cattell's farm, so they're going to be compensated, but Leif did it under the deal that he would be able to take Thorfinn with him when it was done, basically delivering them back home. So interesting, because we are going to go back and we are going to have this connection with the two of them. I'm assuming they get there before Floki and the others are going to arrive. So I'm assuming we have plenty of time to do that and possibly set up what's to come next. But I actually do not know. And it's going to put a test to what's going to happen with Thorfinn and his oath of no violence. Is he going to help and protect the people on this farm? Is he going to help and try and protect himself? Are him and Einar just going to flee and try and find a way to get off the farm to avoid all of this conflict? What is the route they're going to try and take here? And fortunately, we'll make a prediction here that I don't think it's going to go well. I think we're going to get back. And then, unfortunately, I think Leif and Cattell are going to die and be taken, or just be taken, something like that. And Thorfinn is going to be forced to continue off as a slave for a while. And then ultimately by the end of it, I'm going to guess him and some of the others are going to band together and kind of overthrow whoever's there at the time and then escape themselves. I don't know if that's something that's realistic, but I am kind of hoping that's the case. And as I've said for episodes, I really hope Canute does go and show up and gets to meet Thorfinn and get to see what the hell they each think of each other and what the hell's become of the world and them. I just think that would be so, so cool. Also wanted to note Omar's reaction here to the aftermath of everything that was caused. And it's probably a lot of guilt that's on him now because he was able to kill somebody and him having to face the fact that he did take a life who probably didn't do anything that, to him at least, that caused it to be necessary for him to lose his own life. And Omar also facing the fact that he possibly was the main reason here as to what's going to go down and what's going to go wrong with his, his dad possibly losing his farm or losing their lives, and him having to face this guilt and shame of all of this stuff that was caused ultimately by him because he had too much pride and too much ego, and he got embarrassed by these other guys because he didn't know his place and didn't know when to shut up and not cause conflict with others or just listen to his dad like he's been trying to make him be a peaceful worker on the farm all these years. Canute's line at the end of "mock me if you wish and curse me if you must, but I do this all to create my utopia, all for lost love." Really, really cool line. The meanings behind, especially the last line, zero idea. But it is cool to see he has a really big picture, probably. It's a lot more complicated than we are going to storm this, take this over so that we have extra cash now, and then we'll figure it out from there. He has an overall plan. He has an idea of what he wants. He has a vision of what fits into this perfect world of his, and he's doing it all specifically for lost love. What that means, I have zero idea. I don't know. The only thing that comes to mind is I remember he had a conversation with the priest in the first season, and the priest talks about things regarding love and what it means to love and what it means to lose and stuff like that. And I wonder if it has something to do with that, if that specific conversation he had with the priest caused this big of an impact on him that it is altering his view and what creates a perfect world and what he needs to strive for. But that could be a long shot. But besides that, I don't recall any situations when he talks about something with lost love and what that could possibly mean. So I am curious what it is, because he hasn't really lost anyone as far as I'm concerned. Unless he viewed himself close to like Thorfinn and he misses him or something. I don't think that makes any sense. Unless he's talking about his dad, but he didn't have a great relationship with him. Like, is it the lost love that he lost, the stuff that he had for his brother that he just recently, rediscovered his love for him, and fortunately was unable to really patch things up with him. But I don't think that was the case, because he overall seemed pretty happy about his death. So where does Canute go from here? What is his thoughts? I don't know. Overall, beautiful episode. Some of the shots, like I said, just the different visuals and stills and sceneries that they showed us here are beautiful. Probably the best of the season. And we really did get a lot of room just for characters to breathe and for us to see certain emotion and body language and reactions off of characters such as Olmar especially, or even just Cattell forcing himself to stay inside of the barrel at the end. Stuff like that. And I think it's really excellent done, and very excited about what's to come next. And the only thing, like I said, I can think of is everybody's going to storm the farm, and we're going to have to put Thorfinn to a test and see what's going to happen, if he wants to stay true to his oath of no violence, or if he means no violence in the sense of unless it's used for protection and protecting the people he cares about, such as Einar, or maybe the people on the farm. I don't know what his path is here and what their idea is, but it looks like a war is coming, And I am thrilled to see the direction that they take it and the direction that Thorfinn is, because we really haven't got that much insight into where his mind's at since we've done this time skip. We had that one thing where he wants to create peace, and that's about the most that we've heard from him. So I think next episode we'll be back focusing on him. Very excited for the second core of this to begin. Probably going to get a new OP and ED next episode would be my guess, and hopefully they're absolute bangers, because I absolutely love these first two, so I'm going to miss them a lot if the next ones aren't very enjoyable. But yeah, if you liked it all, please leave a like and subscribe. Do mean a lot to me. Leave any comments down below about the episode in general, just thoughts overall, or correct me on anything if I'm off. Also, let me know what you think Lost Love is necessarily referring to if you haven't read ahead and probably don't know. Follow me on Twitter. My anime list, both links are in the description. Check out the other reactions on the channel. I'll be back next week, episode 13. See ya.